Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: Aisha Buhari contradicts her husband Buhari over the case of insecurity. She says the worst is yet to come. Alright, but before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's look at the news in detail. The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, on Monday warned Nigerians that we may face worst security problems. She therefore called for synergy among all security agencies. Aisha urged them to re-strategize and re-examine the security structure with a view to stem the rising cases of insecurity in Nigeria. She made the call at an international conference on state and security held at the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, Kaduna. Aisha Buhari urged government to look into the welfare of security personnel. And according to her, what she says, security in Nigeria remains the biggest challenge. It is high time to explore new strategies and approaches. If care is not taken, we will be expecting the worst of the security problem we are facing in Nigeria. Nan quoted her as saying, I'll repeat that place again. She said, if case is not taken, we will be expecting the worst of the security problems we are facing in Nigeria. Nan quoted her as saying, the First Lady appealed to Nigerians to remain vigilant and provide relevant information to security agencies to evade any potential threat. According to her, she said all criminals are members of our society and they live in our midst. Parents have the responsibility of ensuring that we take exceptional interest in the development of our children, she said, as Aisha said. All right, that's the news, and we just want to consider one or two responses from Nigerians before we go on to discussing this issue. And someone says here, it said, it is taken by force. Okay, sorry, it said, what is taken by force must be returned by force. Insecurity will consume everyone in this country. What do you expect to happen in a country where the few has taken everything for themselves? The insecurity situation in the country is just a tip of the iceberg. Wow. Another person here says, so indirectly you are telling Nigerians that they never see anything and they are complaining. Ghana might be a better option for now. That's just the person is trying to tell you what is in his mind, that the next option, the next place to move to may likely be Ghana for him. All right, well, let's just look at this case. And for me, why I say this contradiction is because the husband has given Nigerians promises that he's going to crush everyone that is behind the issue of insecurity. That had been the promise he has given to Nigerians, that he's going to go against them heavily and ensure that they are being crushed. But, being that the wife has already tested, possibly they have sat down and they have spoken, and she has tested his capability and what his will power is at play, providing a possible solution to this issue. And she's realized that there's nothing the old man can do, and that's why she is beckoning on Nigerians. Based on what she's saying is, she's trying to tell Nigerians, hey, you guys need to fix this by yourself. And this is really, really disheartening. And I think this is also one situation that everyone needs to look into, so that in case when we are granted another opportunity to elect another person, we will do it wisely. And okay, looking at the situation on ground, based on what she has said, it's so glaring that there is no hope. And based on what she's saying, it goes a long way to tell Nigerians that the people that are currently in the position of leadership, or that's, I'm talking about the security agencies, those who are security chiefs, are not doing well enough. Now, look at some of the words that she said. She talked about strategizing and re-strategizing. Now, if the pathway you have followed in solving a particular problem has not produced any result, the ideal thing is for you possibly to seek the suggestion of other persons, and if you can't get the right suggestion, you can throw in the towel so that another person can take over. And that's why it's overly important that when these guys want to take up position or take up appointment like this, it's important for us to spell out their responsibility and possibly their own target in respect to certain challenges that is staring at the government and at the people of Nigeria. But unfortunately, that is not what we are seeing happening in our country. How can you give someone a position for as long as 2015 and up till today, the problems that we are seeing in that particular area where he's supposed to lead is still there staring at our face, and you are still keeping the person? I can still remember that in possibly marketing companies or maybe in the bank, first of all, they'll carry out review, how they call it, performance review on you for a period of 6 months to test if you have the capacity to still, continue with the job. But unfortunately, and guess what? That has nothing to do with the, lives of people. It's just the life and future of the company. So every employee his performance must be measured. If one could place so much priority on the life and the future and the progress of his business, why should we be playing games? We have waited as long as now for these guys to re-strategize and show us that they are making frantic effort towards solving this problem once and for all. We are not seeing it. Okay, today they will say we have handled the issue technically. Tomorrow we will see the issue staring at our face. We've heard that just recently these guys were on the federal highway. In other words, they have already taken authority over the forest. They have made progress into the communities. Now they are on the federal road, which means that that area that I'm talking about, those northeastern states, they are no-go area, especially for international organizations and international NGOs who are coming in to solve problems for our country. If they have the willpower, if they have the authority, not authority, I call that audacity, to dare the government to the point of coming to the federal road to stand and molest people for as long as 2 hours, it therefore means that we are almost gone when it comes to security. And this is an indication that if we do not do the right thing, unfortunately, they will continue to sweep through. Before you know, the whole of North will be taken over by these people. I think that's why the First Lady is now trying to look at, the case of parents trying, apart from, the first one she talked about is that these people who are carrying out this nefarious act, whether it's insurgency, kidnapping, or whatever they are doing against the security of the nation, those people are dwelling in our midst. And she's now telling the populace that they should report any miscreant seen around who is causing a lot of and looking at that, it's overly important. And that's why when Emir Sanusi talked about the issue of Almajiris, some northerners were getting angry. It's a very serious issue. Most of those people that are fronting this thing, most of those who are joining forces with these groups that are troubling us, they are actually those who had no hope in life. They were hopeless. They were actually hopeless. And that is why the northerners are getting angry that even the person at the hem of our face seems not to understand where some of the problems we are having in the country, where their foundations are. Because one of the reasons why we are seeing so much stronghold of, insurgency and all of that taking place in, the northern area is the fact that the people living there, most of them seems not to have any hope. They seems not to have any way to link up to. That's why the likes of Jonathan had to establish, Almajiri educational program, giving them free education so that we can take the children off schools, off the street. And as we take them off the street, we also rejuvenate their mind. Not just rejuvenation of the mind, we also, redefine their course in life. Let them understand that there is more to life than having to fight and all of that. And by the time you do that, and at least move a reasonable number of them into the university, before you know, their mindsets have been refixed, their horizon has been improved. They do not look at things the way an ordinary person who does not have any educational background will be looking at. That was the plan for the Almajiri educational program. But right now, it's been frustrated. Even the buildings are dilapidated. They are decayed. Nobody's talking about it again. And we still see these children loiter on the street. Before you know, these guys will just come, wind their head, just convince them, talk them into realizing that the country does not have any plan for them. Okay, why not come and join us? Let's see how we can take over. And they'll begin to tell them all manner of lies, and they will join them. And that's why it's very, very important. Parents need to give birth to children that they know they can take care of. At least, even if you cannot push them to university level, make progress, take them to as far as, secondary school. And the government, if you see a child that have been trained to secondary, help him, let him be trained to university, so that we can, even if we cannot totally eradicate the issue of insecurity, at least it can be reduced drastically. It can be reduced to the barest minimum. With what she has said now, it clearly shows that this present day administration have nothing to offer in terms of solving the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. And this is absolutely very troubling if we do not take time. I'm telling you, with this kind of statement coming up, most people will be taking refuge outside the country. That's why you see the number of Nigerians who are trying to work their way to Canada, to Dubai, work their way to Ghana. We are on the increase on a daily basis. Why? Even when I may have the business acumen to start up something in the country, with the level of insecurity, there is no way it's going to work. Most people had bigger plans for, agriculture. Some wanted to go into livestock. Some wanted to get massive land mass, to cultivate annual and perennial crops, so that they can be feeding Nigerians and possibly providing it enough such that they commercialize it and even use it as export to other countries. But unfortunately, the environment is overly unconducive for them, and they are taking this wisdom to do it somewhere else. This is not helping matters. Companies are winding up. Like if you go to the north, I'm so sure that most companies who had had their headquarters, they've decided to move and just leave a branch there. After a while, they'll just close it because nobody will come and die. This is not possible. Nobody wants to die at the end of the day. If your environment is not good enough for me to do business, I can no longer stay there. And I think this is one issue that must be solved by all means. All right, just go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you think her communication really means? Do you think that is an indication that there's no hope for the country in respect to the current issue of insecurity that we are facing? Please do well to interact with us in our comment section, and don't forget also to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish a video.